Yes, Pony Sonic. What are you talking about? Look, don't judge me, okay? I've been having a hard time coming up with my own Nightmare Night costume. I'm at least putting my costume thoughts into my surroundings. That's actually not a bad idea. For doing a video and procrastinating on my own costume ideas. Is this a shameless way of starting a video? Maybe. But is it a fun idea? Heck yeah. And like my other top 10, no real particular order for any of this. And it's my Halloween and Nightmare Night costume, so no evening dresses or random magical imitations. Discord. Don't judge me. Let's get started. Number 10, Mayor the Clown. Okay, maybe it's me reading too much into it, but a politician dressed as a clown just felt so on the nose it's actually kind of funny. And Spike, really? Clowns aren't scary for you?
Her spooky voice might work better if she wasn't dressed like that.
This is how you know someone didn't survive the Forest Clowns of 2016. Or hasn't seen literally every clown-based horror movie that ever existed. Like I have. And pair that with the Sarah Palin devil scene in the same episode, Lunar Eclipse. Yeah, I see where you guys stand on politics. Hilariously. Number 9, Rainbow Dash the Shadow Bolt. I don't know if I would have dressed as the shadow beings that tried to get me to join them in evil. It's a me thing, but maybe it's also a Rainbow Dash thing. I mean, nobody else would have known about the Shadow Bolts from season 1, so it's impressive that she remembered something like this possibly 1 or 2 years later. Unless the Shadow Bolts are a real thing in the pony world, we know it's the mascot name of Crystal Prep in the human world, but the school wasn't inherently evil, just under bad management. I guess I like to think that Rainbow had some pride in saying no at a crucial time, and it led to the main 6 becoming friends. Or that Rainbow Dash still hasn't sampled any of my humble pie I made for her years ago. Maybe we try humble cider or something. Also, she almost gave a baby dragon a heart attack and we kind of just ignored this? Concerning. Number 8, Rarity the Mermaid. It's such a Rarity costume and I appreciate that they didn't go for a different mermaid look. The slapstick with the tail is also very hilarious.
Smack my bitch up.
But now that we know there's such a thing as sea ponies, the other sea ponies. Much better. God, why does it look painful that you just exist? Since we know sea ponies are a thing, I wonder if this is somehow cultural appropriation. I mean, a mermaid is technically half fish, half human, while the sea pony is half fish, half pony. I guess dressing as a sea pony in my mind is fine since the design isn't too far from what they turned into in the first movie. Number 7, Derpy the Bag. Yeah, I had to put a few meme-type costumes in here. I couldn't help it. This just gives me all the joy of the homemade costume. It's giving box with the word Gundam on it. It's giving trash can saying your waifu is trash. Like, these were obvious joke costumes, but something infamous that you kind of just have to say, well, they tried. And look, she even got her own Princess Twilight costume and leveled up her craft a bit. Number 6, Granny the Horse. No, really, how do you even explain this mask? It's not to say something like over-detailed human masks aren't a thing, but after this frame from Slice of Life, Granny Smith, what do you know exactly? With the possibility of Applejack and Pinkie Pie being related, I can't shake the feeling of Granny being able to see through the fourth wall, and just so happen to know about horse masks like this. And what or who was she supposed to be here exactly? It was never said or mentioned in the episode Scaremaster, but at this point, I might have to say she's dressed as BoJack Horseman? It's too memorable not to include on this list, and compared to Lunar Eclipse, she at least seemed more into the Nightmare Night spirit. Enough to freak out Fluttershy especially.
I wonder what got stuck in her craw.
Number 5, Zakora the Witch Doctor. Okay, I honestly wasn't sure on the costume title exactly. Witch Doctor? Voodoo Priestess? Whatever you want to call it, I love it. For one thing, loving the long hair on her, very cute. Also, kind of ironic that not too long ago, Zakora was isolated from Ponyville, and everybody thought she was evil. Pinky even made a whole song about her being an evil enchantress.
She's an evil enchantress. She does evil dances. And if you look deep in her eyes, she'll put you in trances. Then what will she do? She'll mix up an evil brew. Then she'll gobble you up in a big tasty stew. So watch out!
Wow, catchy.
It feels like she's kind of owning up to her potion-making spiritual roots. Yes, she's a zebra and doesn't have magical unicorn powers, but is able to make potions and elixirs to regrow teeth, cure poison joke, and help a rooster crow.
With heart's desire, his talent comes into view, and he'll give a mighty cock-a-doodle-doo.
The fact that, as isolated as she was from Ponyville, she at least knew the story of Nightmare Night, enough to be the grand storyteller in Luna Eclipse. 21 episodes after her first appearance in Bridal Gossip. Maybe they just like her aesthetic. Either way, good on you, Zecora. Way to fit in with the community. Number 4, Twilight as Starswirl the Bearded. I was stuck between this and her Royal Guard costume for Scaremaster, but I felt the Royal Guard one is literally just her wearing her brother's old armor before he was moved to captain. Very cute in an admiring way. But what really drew me in is that Starswirl is supposed to be this all-powerful unicorn who was even teaching the princesses, as mentioned in Shadowplay.
My sister and I have such fond memories of your lessons.
As long as you don't ask for those essays we owed you before you disappeared.
It was also kind of funny how Luna, being a student of Starswirl, knew how many bells he wore in his hat during Luna Eclipse.
Hi, my name is Starswirl the Bearded. Commendable costume. Now we even got the bells right.
Is that an OCD thing she has? Or maybe she thinks it's weird to dress up like a teacher she had when she was a kid. Let's not mention that her costume is giving the strongest LARPing vibes. Like, this is what you imagine a wizard looking like in any Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
It's wizard time, motherfucker! I cast instant Brazilian wax!
Not to mention having the cosplayer unspoken rule happen where your costume is so detailed, so impressive, but nobody knows what you are or where your costume is from.
Are you that one kooky grandpa from Ponyville Retirement Village?
Oh, you make a fantastic weirdo clown.
With that beard, I reckon you're some sort of country music singer.
Top that off with her costume being homemade and having not be appreciated. I feel your pain, Twilight. Number 3, Pinkie Pie the Skater. First off, adorable. And for someone with 4 hooves able to move this well on skates, it's very impressive. But look at Pinkie Pie's history. She's helped with cutting up the ice for winter wrap-up, and I think for her pinky sense, it gives her a less chance of being clumsy. At least unless it's used to make someone laugh. And even in the human world, you have Pinkie Pie working at a 60s-style roller diner, and during the Friendship Through the Ages music video, she's rocking an 80s glam style. Girl really loves her retro looks, and I am all for it. So Pinkie rocking the skater look with the afro puffs is definitely one of my favorites from Scaremaster. Number 2, Luna as Nightmare Moon. Okay, I don't know if I technically call it a costume, but definitely a transformation, and one that's a little alarming. And it happened on Nightmare Night, so it counts. I didn't think anything of the fact that she just changed into this form, but after a while, I just had so many questions. Is Nightmare Moon a permanent part of Luna? Is this just glamour magic that she can transform into her? What was the point of the fake fangs if she could just do glamour magic to scare the kids? This kind of goes back to my last video on Luna's transformation into Nightmare Moon. It was coming from a place of anger and hurt and kind of manifested itself, but also came off as a dark presence corrupting Luna into this form. So, how is this okay? Even before the ending, people were freaked out by her just being there with her Canterlot voice. It's still a really cool scene and still leaves me with even more questions. Like, can Celestia turn into Daybreaker like what we see in A Royal Problem? Have they pranked each other with this idea that one of them can just go feral like that? As I said in my last Nightmare Night video, these two might be the weirdest, but most creative pranksters ever. And Luna sure proved it with her show. Also, Nightmare Moon now eats people.
But Nightmare Moon wants just one thing. To gobble up ponies in one quick swing. fill up her belly with a treat or two, so she won't return to come eat you!
I don't know where that part of the lore came from in Zeccora's story, or in the story of Nightmare Night in general, but wow. Eternal night and cannibalism. Makes for a really crazy monster. And now for a few honorable mentions, because why not? Pip the Pirate. He's British and a pirate. If you don't see him in any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, it would have been a waste. Applejack as the Scarecrow and the Lion. We were so close to completing the set with a possible Tin Man costume. How can they just go 2 out of 3 of the characters from Wizard of Oz? Disrespectful. Fluttershy as a vampire. Been there, done that. But it still looked really cool.
Vampire fruit bat? Ugh, definitely no.
Minuet the Dentist. Her fan name is Colgate for the longest time. If you didn't find this funny and cute, you're heartless. And now for number 1. Applejack and Fluttershy as Fluttershy. Okay, is it cheating if I use an Equestria Girls clip? Maybe. Is it unfair that this is probably just a costume party and not specifically a Halloween or Nightmare Night party? Perhaps. But this is definitely a costume, and there is no way I can ignore the most random G1 reference. I mean, other than the last horrifying G1 reference. I also have to wonder why Applejack of all people would have this costume ready and that it specifically looks like her friend. I mean, she seems like the hokey type to use these 2-person costumes, maybe even the fake riding costumes with the fake legs dangling to the side, but one that looks like Fluttershy specifically. Rarejack fans, move over. We have Appleshy and or Flutterjack here to stay. Let's not forget Applejack was also from G1, and out of all the main 6 had a pretty consistent design going forward between the generations. Technically speaking, G1 didn't have a Fluttershy. And this is what happens when I mess with fan favorites. In G1 we had Posey, who maybe spoke and understood animals, sang like a Disney princess, and apparently had a special talent of making flowers grow. Not to mention being an earth pony, so that explains the love of nature and flowers. Fun fact, voice of Posey was Nancy Cartwright, and if you don't know, then you really don't know your childhood well enough.
Eat my shorts.
Also, big props to AJ for being the butt end of the joke. No, really, I mean it. It's her costume and she was nice enough to give Fluttershy the head part. By the way, close option would have been the Cthulhu tentacle monster from the Sunset choice.
Tent. Doing a little camping, huh? Tentacle head. Oh, come on!
I think I have some concerns here. And that was my top 10 favorite costumes of Halloween and Nightmare Night. Let me know which one was your favorite and what you'll dress up this year. Even if it's just going to a convention or something. All costumes are great and equal. Yep, I think I have that thanks to Fluttershy no less. 1 second. I'm gonna be a blanket burrito and binge watch Courage the Cowardly Dog. Have a nice holiday, everyone.
Stupid dog!